right, here we go. Let's start with memory. Remember, you have a full chapter this week. Remember, you have a vocab quiz 1 through 10 on Monday. Index cards are due on Monday. You have vocab 11 through 20 on Tuesday. You have Wednesday 21 through 30. Your test, your study guide, and your full chapter outline are all due on Tuesday. Your study guide is 2 pages, which means it's 20 points. Your outline is double, which means it's 20 points. Both of those assignments are really, really important to make sure you are successful this week. So, memory is what we're covering this week. It's interesting, and then it's not interesting at the same time. We use memory all the time, obviously. Some of us are better. Who here has a terrible memory? Who here is really good at remembering stupid stuff? Who here is really good at remembering like the academic crap you're supposed to? Oh, good for you. All right. So, hopefully you just saw that people have different strengths in their memory. Everyone is good at remembering something. No one is just completely blank unless you're in a coma. And if you're in a coma, you've got bigger problems. Okay. Some people, like McCrae Bennett, the love of my life, right, Hannah? Is like really, he is one of the smartest people I've ever met, and I happen to know a lot of smart people, but he is probably the smartest, even though he wants you to think he's a complete moron. He uses or wastes his intelligence on rap lyrics. All he does is he knows every single Eminem lyric ever stated by him, and he has memorized it. And the only song he can't keep up with is Rap God, which makes a lot of sense if you listen to the very end of Rap God. It is, damn. Everyone has their intelligence and memory. Everyone has a strength. Like my sister, for some reason, is like amazing at remembering movies and the people in the movies and the plot of the movies for no reason. Like Disney classics, like Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. I don't know if you were a little young for that, but that was my generation to a T. And Danny's Surfer Danny, which is classic, by the way. Surfer from Hawaii moves to Vermont and becomes a snowboarder. Johnny Tsunami? No? Okay. Classic films. My sister can tell you every detail. It's true. So memory is an active system that receives information from senses, organizes and alters them, and puts them away so we can recall them. When we talk about memory, we talk about encoding, storage, and retrieval. The easiest way to think about memory is to think of it like a library. Have we all seen... I don't have a movie memory like my sister does. What's a stupid movie with this cartoon movie that they're all of different sensations? One's anger, one's happiness. Inside Out. Okay, we've seen that. That's actually a pretty good explanation of how memories work. Obviously, there's not 3-4 senses working on a control board in your brain, but maybe it's better to think that way. When we think about our memory and our feelings and all of those contributions, they all intersect. So, when we think about memory, think of it as a library. Encoding is when a brand new book arrives in the library. You have to put the code on it. What's the code of a library? Oh my God. Dewey Decimal! Yes! Karina. Okay, the Dewey Decimal System is the barcode that's on your library book. So you can look it up on the computer. We used to have, in my old elementary school, we used to have the card catalog, which was a massive chest of drawers. You had to pull out the cards, hand cards, to go find where the books were. Yeah, times have changed, my friends. With that being said, the Dewey Decimal System is how we encode information. We put information on that book to make it easier to find. Storage is when we take that brand new book with that brand new barcode and put it in the right spot. And retrieval is when Sam decides she wants to learn how hippos live in the dry season. And she goes to the card catalog and she's like, Hippos in the Dry Season, book by McKinnon. Okay, she goes, gets the Dewey Decimal number, and then goes straight to the shelf and finds the book right there. That is the retrieval. She picks up the book and she's like, gee, whiz, what a cool book. I'm so glad they have so many pictures and so many in-depth articles about hippos in the dry season. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I'm really glad I wrote this, though.
So when we're talking about memory, everything is based on these 3 stages, right, Riley? It's encoding the information, storage of the information, and retrieval. Who here, some of you raise your hand, who here is terrible at memory? Has terrible memory? Okay. You have a problem with either encoding it or storing it. And that's what makes the retrieval of the memory an issue. And if you figure out as we go through the week which one you are, you can do better and help improve your memory. Isn't that fun? Okay.
I have a question.
What?
Sorry. The 3 processes of memory or whatever?
Yeah?
That's that, right?
Yeah. Is that number 1?
No. It was just like a box.
Yeah, here, I'm going to come back to it. It comes back. So, join me here, Lauren, and I'm going to fill out all that stuff for you. I'm going to do question number 1, which is talking about the same thing. Okay, so information processing model is a model of memory that assumes the processing of information of memory storage is similar to the way the computer processes information. Information processing model is, instead of thinking of encoding, storage, and retrieval as a library, you can think of it as a computer. Levels of processing is when information is more deeply processed. Okay? So, what that means is the more you think about something, the more you process the information. I would write this one down. I'm pretty sure this is a test question. So, I would write down levels of processing model. And I would just write what I'm about to tell you down. Don't worry about the whole definition. Levels of processing model. Is the belief that the more you process information, the more likely you are to retain it. So, think about it. What was a project? Give me one of the projects you had to do in like elementary or middle school. Who had a stupid project you had to do? It took forever. It was so much time. Yeah.
Like the science fair, where like
Science fair.
where they made you like drop like, or mine was like dropping a basketball and seeing how high it could bounce, and it was like honestly the most annoying thing.
How much do you know about basketballs and bouncing at this point? Way too much?
No.
You don't know anything?
I mean, I
You're
know.
a terrible
I know
example,
once you like drop it, like it bounces halfway back up each time. But not like the numbers and stuff.
Oh, that's fine. I don't care about numbers. What do you have
Me
to
and
do?
Lauren have a great one. Our 5th grade science project. We did how shaking different types of soda cans we used root beer. We got really sick on root beer. Makes it explode. It was pretty
That's
good.
a pretty cool science experiment.
Yeah, it was fun. We drank so much root beer.
Was that in Mr. DeVee's class?
That was
I don't remember what year.
it was Barnhart.
So, in 7th grade, for Miss Johnson, who was such a crotchety old lady. Anyway, and it was a language arts class in 7th grade, and every single kid was assigned a state. Out of the 50 states, and there was only 32 kids in the class, guess what state I got?
North Dakota.
South Dakota. I got South Dakota. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to need parallel processing too. Do you know how awful it is to be assigned South Dakota? However, it was a massive project. Have you been to South Dakota?
No, I was assigned to that.
You were assigned it too. Well, the problem is though, so you had like multiple phases of the whole thing. You had to come up with a brochure. You had to do a PowerPoint. You had to come up with a meal that would be like indigenous to the region. You had to know like the state bird. You had to do like all like the state stuff, and it was like a semester-long project. I know so much about the stupid state of South Dakota. I will visit the state of South Dakota because I have done this massive project, and I ended up kind of liking it. Like they have like the Badlands in there and stuff like that. Like it's pretty cool. Apparently, it's very beautiful. We made some, like, I don't even know what we made. It was disgusting. It was really gross. No one ate mine. It's fine. I'm from South Dakota. No one really was, excited for South Dakota cuisine. But
How many people live in South Dakota?
I have no idea. That wasn't part of my facts. But I was like super into South Dakota for a while. Like, I thought it was really cool. And I was pretty down for it. In A Push, my teacher taught it chronologically through presidents. So instead of, you've had the textbook and stuff, but how she would teach it is by units were by presidents. So you'd have a president, every student would start the first day of that president. You had to come up with this massive fact sheet about everything that happened, and then you'd have to get up there and kind of explain and introduce the person to the whole class and stuff like that, and then kind of talk about the big points, and then obviously the teacher would fill in for like another week or two, depending on how long that who the president was, would go through there. Of course, I had John Tyler. I know exactly. He died like week 2 of pneumonia, and then I had like Garfield. Andrew Garfield. Huh? No.
I like
So those things, when I get to that point in history, I'm like, oh my god, blah 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 blah. It's easier for me to recall.
What about Andrew?
Andrew Garfield, he was president. Just a short one, 4 years.
Oh.
It wasn't very good.
Like the actor.
Yeah, it's not very exciting. It's not very
I thought you
exciting.
were like the actor.
Yeah. Parallel distributed processing is a memory model which were proposed to take place at the same time or large. What that means is, and I would write this down, put a star next to it, is when you're doing multiple things at one time, it makes it easier to remember. So say, for instance, if, for AP World, I work with Ren, and we match up our content as much as we can this year. Ren's auditing my class, which means he sits in here every day during second period and just listens to what I'm going through. So when the kids come to his class, he can say, oh, well, I know what you're doing in Bennett. You know, today you talked about this, this, and this, and last week you talked about this, this, and this. Well, this is how it looks here. This is what, you know, and this art, this is what that symbolizes. So the kids are hearing it for me, and they're hearing it for Ren. That's parallel distributed processing. So guess what's happening with the kids? It's easier. It's easier for the kids. And that's like the really great part. For my AP World kids, second semester, I tie really closely with English. English follows the progression of the 20th century in reading books. So, in my capstone, they're doing it now. I don't know. And they're going to be covering a lot of the books that I'm discussing, which is pretty cool. All right. Number 1 on your focus. You're going to draw in this diagram. These are your 3 stages of memory here, my dear.
Are we just drawing the diagram?
Draw the diagram. We're going to write explanation on it as well. So you want me to, I guess I could like get up. You know what I mean? It's not really my faith thing to do right now. Hannah, miss, I'm on the wall. I'll miss some kind of a big deal. All right, so when we talk about the 3 stages of memory, we have it broken down into 3 major sections. So if you want to write down the basic information that I have up there, please do. I'm going to add to it though, because I think it's important that some things are pulled through. Is that okay with you? Hello? Okay, so please know, don't make it this big massive boxes. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, so once you get your boxes up there, take a look over here. Okay, so just connecting larger things than we usually do. So it goes external sensations. What would be an example of external sensations? Yes! My lovely and soothing voice is an external stimulus or sensation. So obviously your external stimulus or sensation has to be go through transduction, right? Transduction, you can raise your hand and tell me what is transduction? Yes, we're coming full circle, What is transduction? Someone else, Karina.
Is it when stimuli turn into a neural?
Yes, why does that have to turn into a neural impulse? So we can what?
React?
No. So, Karina, if I cut open your skull and start shouting at your brain, is your brain going to process that information? No. Why?
It's on at my ears.
Where does your Where does all your auditory information? Where does transduction occur for your auditory? Oh my God, guys, this is
Your ears.
Where in your ears?
guys. Like we know this answer. Auditory transduction. Don't tell me ears. A little kid could tell you ears. We're in AP Psych. I covered this 3 weeks ago.
Wait.
Where does transduction occur, Jacqueline? Basilar membrane, which is inside the cochlea. That's where transduction occurs. Remember, we have sound waves hit the tympanic membrane, which cause a physical movement in our oscilles, and the oscilles pull the oval window open and close and moves all the mucus inside the cochlea into the basilar membrane. Toss it all in the box for me. Okay? That's how transduction occurs. People, you have an AP exam that's on everything we've ever talked about. You know that, right? Like, we have to retain some of this. Okay? So, with that being said, all that information is being sent to your sensory memory. Isn't that so exciting? So, in the sensory memory, okay, this is where all of your auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and what else? What other sensations do we have? Oh, taste. That's weird. That's fine. Okay? All of this is held for 1 to 2 seconds. So, listen to me. Look at me for 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Look at me for 2 seconds. So, I washed my hair. My shampoo is chocolate. Yes! It's like chocolate. It's not like chocolate sauce, people. Like, I'm not disgusting. I don't like bring in like a Hershey's bottle and be like, that's not what I do, you weirdos. It's chocolate scented shampoo, and it's so amazing. And it smells incredible, okay? When I wash it, which I didn't want to last night, there's a little dry shampoo in there for you today. With that being said, it's when I come in on Monday, I wash my hair every Sunday night, you'll get whiffs of chocolate. And it does, because in 5th period, I showed my girl over here that my hair smelled like chocolate. She's like, oh my God, it really does. And I was like, yeah, it's so great. Okay, we got a little off on a tangent there. With that being said, every single one of you is smelling every single one of you in the room. Every single one of you has processed what every single person in the room looks like today. All the different changes in their clothes, all the different information. Every single one of you is feeling how uncomfortable you are in your seat. How your jeans, would it be a little nicer if they were a little more stretchy today? Okay, there's a bag full of candy in my box. I may have eaten too much this week. Okay? Every single thing that is happening on your body and around you, your body processes. And literally tells your sensory memory that. Isn't that insane? Can your brain handle this much information? No. So if you don't pay attention to it, it's gone. So if Olivia walks in with a brand new perfume from Marc Jacobs, which is fierce, okay, but if you didn't pay attention to it, you're not going to smell it. But if someone's like, oh my God, Olivia, I love your Marc Jacobs perfume, it's incredible, then everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Olivia, I love it. Has that ever happened to you? Someone's pointed out something to someone around you and you're like, oh my God, how did I not notice? It's because you didn't move your sensory memories into your short-term memory.
So what about like the people you like walk by in the hallway and you like smell?
Because
You're
you
like,
don't-
oh, that person smelled cool.
Yeah, because you gave them attention. It's attention that moves things from your sensory memory to your short-term memory. How many faces do you see a day? There are so many people here that I genuinely do not care about. And it's so funny, like if I go to the grocery store and I see a kid that's like high school age, it's not, a lot of the time they know who I am. And I look at him and I'm like, I have no idea who the hell you are, so I just like live my life. If I see a kid I know, I go, and I try hiding before you see me. And it drives me crazy. He's like, they can see you at Publix buying milk. No. and I just try to like sneak off. But there's so many times there's kids who see me and they know who I am. And every once in a while, hey, Miss Bennett. And I look at them like, who are you? And they know me. Obviously, there's less teachers here than our students and stuff. But how many faces do you see a day? There's a couple kids on campus who I've never actually met. I don't know what grade they are. I don't know their name. I don't know anything about them, but I hate them. There's a collection of them during 6th period that I ferociously hate. And I don't know anything about them except the fact that they're freshmen and they're the worst. And I hate them. If I see them around school, I see them and I hate them at school. So it's not just in a focus area. The reason is because I've given those kids attention. Because they annoyed me during my lunch duty, so it's moved from an obscure face that who cares, I've given attention to move to my short-term memory. So when you're in your short-term memory, okay, information is here, for 15 to 30 seconds without rehearsal. Okay, so how many times have you met someone and they're like, hey, I'm Sam, and you're like, hey, I'm Karina, and then like something else happens, and then you're like, shit.
What's your name?
What's your name? All the time. I literally, she just told me. How do I? It happens to me all the time, especially with my peers, because I don't see them. So when I see them in the hall, I'm like, and they always know my name, and I'm like, it's because I don't rehearse it. Okay. So, we talk about short-term memory. Information is only there for 15 to 30 seconds. Think about all the facts you've ever heard in your life sitting in class. Would you agree that those things died really quickly? Yeah? So that's your short-term memory. Unrehearsed information is 15 to 30 seconds. Rehearsed information, info, can only hold 7 plus or minus 3.
Are you teaching us seconds?
No. I'm done with math. I taught it week 2. I'm done. Okay, so unrehearsed information, you're going to lose it real quick in 15 to 30 seconds. Makes sense every time you meet someone's name. When you're sitting in a classroom lecturing, you don't really care, you write down a fact, and then later on you're generally surprised you wrote down a fact and you have no idea how it actually got to your paper. Yeah? Okay? That is short-term memory. When you rehearse information like vocab quizzes, okay? When you do a vocab quiz, you sit there and you say the vocab terms over and over again. And you guys get super hostile if I'm slow to put up my projection, aren't you? Because you're like, damn it, oh my God. And you keep saying the words over and over again. That's rehearsal, is saying those names over and over again to try to recall them so you can get them down as soon as it comes. You can only hold, the average person can hold 7 items. Okay? You can hold 7 items. So if your mom sends you to the grocery store and she's like, hey, I need you to pick up this. If it's under 7, you're likely to remember all of them. If it's under 10, you're probably going to remember them. If it's over 10, you're screwed. Write the damn list so you don't have to go right back. Okay? This is how many items that you can rehearse and maintain. Now, this is still short-term memory. So if you really, and I know all of you are super passionate about your vocab terms, and you want to remember them for the rest of your life, because they mean so much to you, correct? If you wanted to move this rehearsed information and keep it forever and ever, you have to do something called maintenance rehearsal. Now, maintenance rehearsal is when you do something over and over again beyond a short period of time. What is something that you have practiced beyond a small setting? Like football plays and stuff like that, correct? You continually do them over and over again. You use some of the same plays every single year, right? I mean, the basic formats. I'm getting out of my box here, whatever. I'm coming to the brink of my box here on football. But you keep playing the same ones, and you always add new ones, but it's the continual use of them. So when you get to college and you decide to play, and they're like, hey, we're doing this one, you're like, oh my God, got it, here we go. That's called maintenance rehearsal. That is how we get things into long-term memory. So, anything that's here for 15 to 30 seconds, any surprising fact that you wrote down in your notes you have actually no idea, that's dead. It dies. There's so many things that we put in our short-term memory that we write this underneath. We are fully aware. Okay? This is subconscious. This is, we're fully aware, we're fully conscious here. And this is just outside our brink of consciousness. Okay, so when we talk about short-term memory, you speak with your short-term memory. You use your short-term memory, okay, all the time. When we talk about any fact, if I ask you to tell me, John, what's your favorite movie? Yes! I love the Perfect. Perfect. That is taking something from long-term into short-term. That you're moving information around, okay? Because if it's not in your short-term memory, in this box, you're not consciously aware of it. What's your favorite movie, John?
I don't know.
What's a movie you like, John?
I don't know. I'm not like.
You're not a movie guy? What are you? What are you then? What are you into?
Like TV.
TV? What's your favorite TV show then? I'm trying to connect to him, and he's not helping me, Sierra. What do you watch? Like, what do you like to watch?
Animal Planet.
Like, are you a Netflix? Are you a Hulu? Netflix? Do you like, The Office?
Yeah,
I love The Office.
Okay. I was trying to connect, John. We're gonna have to work on this. I'm gonna try again here. Okay, so let's just look over this really quickly. So your sensory memory, your brain is processing every single thing that's happening around this entire room. Everyone's smells, everyone's looks, every feeling, every sensation you have on your flesh right now. The fact that Sophia over there is yawning, which is killing my soul. Okay, all of those things are happening in sensory memory. Now that I pointed out, Sophia is yawning. Guess what everyone is now turned to do to notice? Sophia yawning. And everyone's like, damn it, Sophia. Yeah, good. Good.
No,
Good. Look what you've done. So now it's in short-term memory. Okay, so now we're consciously aware of it. If you're thinking of something, it's technically in your short-term memory. Now, I've kept talking about Sophia yawning and how it's ruining everyone's life and how she's bringing this whole class down because of her yawning. We have now taken it from short-term memory into maintenance rehearsal because they keep talking about how rude it is that Sophia is yawning, and now all of us, all we want to do is yawn. Who here is struggling to hold back a yawn?
Oh, you're ruining my day, Miss Bennett.
Good, okay? So that's maintenance rehearsal. Because of Sophia's yawn, all of you are struggling. Look at you. Look what you've done. Okay?
You're talking about it.
Now that I've talked about Sophia's yawn, now that all of you are thinking about Sophia's yawn, it is in maintenance rehearsal. We're talking about it. I'm consecutively bringing up Sophia's yawn because of how atrocious the yawning is. Now Lauren's yawning. Blame Sophia about it. Because I keep mentioning Sophia's yawn and how rude it is to yawn, and how I see some of you are just dying, it's moving into your long-term memory. Now your long-term memory is information that is no longer consciously present. So if I asked Jenny, what'd you have for dinner last night?
I don't remember.
So your default answer is chicken?
Sure.
No, like you literally, like it was like you were waiting for me to ask.
I didn't
like
say
you
that.
knew chicken.
I didn't say that. She did.
I said
Wow. Okay, that makes more sense with me. That makes more sense. All right, Olivia, what do you have for dinner?
I really was.
I had
I had steak and asparagus and sweet
You
potatoes.
people's lives are
That's
so
pretty cute.
decadent.
Vegetables.
I didn't put you dinner.
I didn't dinner either.
I had some bread that I stole.
No, I'm such a fat kid, and I love it. Alright, so what happens is you take the information, you decide what you're going to focus on. It goes in, all the information goes to your sensory memory. Only with attention does it go from sensory memory, which no one retains, into short-term memory. Now, every single one of you has seen something weird in the hallway, and you're like, what the hell? Right? And then you just kept moving. Could you tell me what you said what the hell to, or you just know for a fact you were like, what the hell? Yeah?
I love
Okay, so because Sophia saw something and was like, what the hell? I say what the hell all the time. When I look out my window if I'm seeing kids, even like in class and I look over and I'm like, what the hell is happening? Okay, that's short-term memory. Typically I can't tell you why. Like someone was like, Miss Benna, you were so angry yesterday. Why? I don't know. I'm usually angry. I don't know what to tell you. And it doesn't matter to me because it's my norm, so it's 30 seconds later, it's gone. It's gone. If I'm talking about it, so Sophia, you saw something weird in the hallway today and you were like, what the hell? Did you tell someone or did you like, why would that person do it and you started thinking about it, correct? You told someone, perfect! So you had to relive the whole story again and they probably laughed, right? Which made you laugh, and then you added another funny comment to it because you're a witty young lady. And then you were sitting there making fun of this poor person, correct?
It was 2 people.
2 people, even better. So you can really get into how stupid those people are. And that made into rehearsal. Now, sadly, Sophia, do you think you'll reflect back at the end of the year and say, oh my God, remember that time? Was it that funny or no?
No.
No, so it's going to die today. It's going to be gone. The memory's gone. Okay, after today. And now that we're talking about it, we're helping to keep it alive, it's probably going to die. When it goes into long-term memory, if you have done the encoding correctly, now maintenance rehearsal, talk about enough, it's going to go there really successfully. I have no doubt that Coach Wiener has grinded out so many of those plays, right? That when it's in your long-term memory, whether you want it to or not, you will know it forever because he's such a grinder. And these kids know it even if they've been knocked concussed 15 times. They wake up and they're like, oh, it's the play, let's go. You know, they're ready to go because of the encoding that's happening. So when we talk about information moving from here to here, it has to be encoded correctly. Information that goes from short-term memory to long-term memory has to be encoded and has to be encoded correctly. Okay? How much information do you know in your head that if I ask you, you're like, oh, damn it, I know this. How many times do you do that a day? A lot? That's because you didn't encode correctly. You need to write down encoded, by the way, because this is going to keep coming up. So in order to move information from your short-term memory to long-term memory, you have to do maintenance rehearsal. The maintenance rehearsal is the actual encoding process. So the more times you say something, do something, the more times it is encoded. Once it's encoded, it then sits on a shelf in your brain somewhere. In my head, it's like a library. You know Harry Potter when they go and find the prophecy?
No.
They just have,
Yes,
thank you, Sam. They just have prophecy after prophecy just sitting on the shelves. That's what I think of memory. Okay? Then it goes into your long-term memory. If you've encoded it correctly, you'll be able to say, what is the name of the first president of the United States? George Washington. You've heard this fact over and 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 over again. Okay?
John Adams.
Okay? Because the information is encoded correctly and encoded so many times, it's like a rubber stamp. The first time you stamp something, it's kind of light, right? But if you sit there and keep pressing like on a typewriter, no, that's a stupid example. I didn't know that one. If you keep hitting a stamp on the same spot over and over again, it's going to become super dark. Same thing. The more you encode something, the easier it is to retrieve. Hopefully at this point you've deeply encoded your address. Okay, that is, okay, in long-term memory. It will stay indefinitely. We don't know how long it's going to stay. Now, all of you have learned something that you're like, oh my God, I totally know, but I can't get it. It's still in there. You just haven't encoded it properly, which means you can't get it out properly. So, when we talk about getting information out of long-term memory, we put it back into short-term because this is what we're consciously aware of. It's called retrieval. Okay? It's that component. Okay? So, what was the first vacation you went on, Lauren? What's like the first vacation memory? Were you like Disney, Colorado? I don't know why Colorado was.
I went to Block Island.
Cool. I went to Block Island. How old were you? Maybe like 6. I'm just sitting there thinking about it. That's a retrieval process. Okay, she wasn't expecting me to ask her about your first vacation, were you? Okay, exactly. She encoded the information while she was in Block Island, wherever the hell that is. Okay, she encoded it well enough that randomly 10 years later, a teacher can ask her in the middle of AP Psych, hey, what was your first vacation? And she's like, Block Island. I was about 6 years old. That's a retrieval. The fact that she's talking about Block Island right now means she's in short-term memory. Is everyone okay?
What if like you know something and like it's not like in your short-term memory, but they ask you it and you know it like immediately? Does that just mean like your retrieval process?
And it means it's super encoded. Like that, it's just like super primed and all that stuff. So what's my name? It's been encoded significantly well. Guys, if you don't understand this process, you need to ask me a question right now. I know we didn't fill in a ton of stuff, but if you don't understand this, you're completely screwed. Because we're going to have to talk about retrieval failures, we're going to talk about encoding failures, we're going to talk about short-term memory gaps, what causes those different types of things. If you don't understand what's happening on this board, you're completely screwed for the entire week. What do you got?
So I'm confused as to why like her memory of Block Island would be in her short-term memory.
It's not. It's not. It's in her long-term memory. You heard her go, Block Island.
You said it was in short.
No. So I asked her a question. So she's consciously listening to me. And I asked her what vacation it was. So what color dress did you wear to homecoming last year? Silver. Okay. So what you did is that we are right here in short-term memory. That's where we function. That's our conscious experience. So you hear me ask the question, what color was your homecoming dress? And you went,
I thought you said she pulled it from her short-term memory.
No. She pulls it to her short-term memory
Okay.
because we don't think in long-term memory. So you went to your little shelf for homecoming 2016 and you pulled off your little picture in your brain of your dress and you were like, retrieval! Dun dun dun! I wore a silver dress. That's what that whole is all about. That makes sense?
And then
Does it go back after that?
Yeah!
Okay.
Because every time
So
she
it's like
talks
taking
about
a
her
look up.
silver dress, so if I ask her again next week, like, oh my god, did you like your silver dress better last year, or did you like the
I
color
still don't
dress?
know.
the unknown dress for this year? And we talk about it, the easier it is, the more we encode it, and it goes right back. Once it's been encoded enough, it goes back into long-term memory.
I hate you for the yawning thing because I thought it sucks.
I
Said
like
that.
yeah.
Well, I want
forgot
to
about
see.
And I'm thinking about
What do you got?
grades.
My eyes are wanting so bad.
Here we go. I'm going, guys. Sensory memory. Here we go.
On there it said consolidation, but you wrote is that
Consolidation is the process of encoding. It's the whole process of simplifying the memory and stuff down. I'm going to keep it simple, stupid. I always kind of change things a little bit. I think it's easier to process that way. So, sensory memory is the very first stage of memory, the point at which the information enters the nervous system through the sensory systems. As we know, it's all of your external sensations, correct? Yeah. So, the first memory you have to deal with, by the way, this is question number 2. What makes sensory memory? All of this goes right into sensory memory, which is question number 2 on your focus, guys. All right, please listen to me real quick. I'm not trying to hold you up. This weekend, I hope it is a great weekend. I hope you celebrate with friends. If you're not going to homecoming, good for you. If you are going to homecoming, have a great time. Miles, listen real quick. I want to see each and every one of you safely back in my classroom on Monday. Do not make stupid decisions. These decisions will follow you to college, especially alcohol-related. Colleges are cracking down. They're not accepting students with alcohol issues on their records because colleges are struggling with alcohol abuse at their schools. So don't do it. Have fun. Be safe. I'll see you on Monday in my classroom safe. Bye. Have a good homecoming.
Have you given that speech to everybody?
My
Yeah.
absence on Monday will not be alcohol related.
Are you sure? You're on my list of the